Hey guys, this is Mary Ann, and in this video I would like to show you a little bit more about the Hyperdex. And I showed this the first time when I showed my flip through of my November 2013 pages, and I received some questions on YouTube and on the Facebook group and on my Etsy store, and emails as well. So I just wanted to show you guys how I use mine. Now, this is the color code that I use. Light blue is for sleep time, light gray is for alone time anywhere, either at home or in a restaurant or in a coffee shop. As long as I'm alone and taking it easy, that will be light gray. Light green is time spent at my day job office, and dark green is time spent for work for my day job but outside of the office. Pink is for Etsy work and related matters. Medium blue is for blogging, writing. Orange is for my university classes. Red is for study time for my university classes and other errands for my university classes. Olive is time spent with family. Plum, time spent with friends. And tan is for other matters. Now I'm going to show you how it looks like on my December pages. Now on December 1 and 2 I was on holiday, so you see a lot of blue and gray there because I was asleep, either asleep or just alone and reading. So that's how the Hyperdex looks like on a holiday. On the 2nd of December I had a lot of alone time, but I was not sleeping so much anymore because I was even though I was alone, I was, like sort of recharging in my own apartment because I was not on holiday anymore for the afternoon of December 2. And December 3, it was back to work for me, so I woke up at 5:30 and then I had classes, and then from 10:30 all the way until 6 I was in my day job, but there was no work, so I used up that time to do something. I think I cleaned up my desk or something, and then I had dinner with a friend, and then at home I had some more alone time, and then I went to sleep at 11:30, and then I woke up at 5:30 in the morning. So that's it. That's really how it looks like. And then I'm gonna be showing you a little bit of instructional on how to use it, because you can use it in two ways. One, you can use it to track how you actually spent your time on your tasks, and two, you can use it to track where you are. For example, from 12 midnight until 5 o'clock I'm always home, I'm always asleep, so that's blue. I use these Staedtler fine liners because they look really good, and it takes a while to shade in such a large portion because it's all blue. I don't multitask when I'm asleep. So the whole thing, the whole section will be light blue, and I find it a little bit calming to be able to shade in certain chunks of time, especially because in November I have had trouble sleeping. So to be able to shade in a large portion of the Hyperdex to mark my sleeping time makes me feel a little bit more accomplished, because if I'm able to shade from midnight to 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. with light blue, that means I had a pretty good night's sleep. But if it's just for like 2 hours, then I will be able to tell my doctor about it, and I won't lose that detail because it's an important detail once you're trying to get back too healthy. So there, that's shaded. And then when something is blank, it's usually driving time from this to this. So at 5:30 I got out of bed, and then I got ready, and then I got to class at 7. So that's getting ready and driving. Like here, it's getting ready and driving. This one is driving. If things are blank, then that's driving time from one task to another. So let's say that I got to work at 8, and at work I did a lot of tasks for the office, so the whole thing would be light green according to my color code. So let's say that that went on until 10, doing a lot of things for my day job in my day job office. And then let's say that at 10 o'clock I was called to a meeting. Where is my dark green? I was called to a meeting elsewhere in connection with my day job, and that went on for an hour. So I can shade this in right here. And then after the meeting, let's say that a friend invited me to have an early lunch. So that's plum, which is the color that I have assigned for time with friends. And then that goes on. And the good thing about having a color key like this is that you don't even have to write anything in here. As long as it's blue, you know that you're asleep. You won't have to write sleep on there, like what I do here. I don't have to write anything here because I know that's sleep time. I don't have to write anything on here like this because I know that that's class. But when I shade something with plum, it means that's time spent with friends. So sometimes, just to remember, I put in the name of the friend that I spent time with. For red, I don't have to, if it's study time, I usually don't write anything on there, especially if it's like a holiday. Like here, I can see that it's a holiday, so I was probably home, and I was also on a holiday, literally. So I studied for like 30 minutes just to review my notes because I had class the next day. So that's the benefit of having a color code that is specific. You don't have to write anything much around the Hyperdex. There. So that's one way of doing it this way. A second way of doing it would be to use the concentric circles to add more detail to how you mark your days. For example, you can assign light blue to time spent at home, and then you can assign light gray to time spent with the kids and their homework, and then you can use light green for time spent with significant other. So for example, from 12 noon down, you were home. So let's shade that in. Let's say that you were home from 12 noon to 9 p.m. Like I said, this does take time, but I actually like doing it. I like making the effort to stay inside the lines like a little girl. And the nice thing about using these markers is that they are like fine. I think it's 0.7 point. It's a 0.7 point liner. So we are just marking the outermost circle to stand for where you are. If you have assigned light blue, to time spent at home, this is what you can do with that. You can also assign different colors for different children. So that's it. You're home the whole time from 12 noon to 9 o'clock at night. And then let's say that your preschooler came home at 12 noon, had lunch, and then needed your help with something, or she just wanted to play with you. So you spent 2 whole hours with her watching her favorite TV shows, reading to her. You can mark that in. If gray is the color that you have assigned to her, then you can do that too. And then at 2 o'clock, your other child came home and needed help figuring out what to wear for a dance on the next day. And let's say that light green is the color that you have assigned for her, then you can shade that in. And that all happened inside your home. And then at around 5, let's say that you had to start preparing dinner. Let's say that you have assigned household chores to the color orange. So let's say that you spent 2 hours for dinner to prepare dinner for the kids because they're all home. There. You get what I'm trying to say. Because the Hyperdex does not have just one circle, it has 3 actually. So you can use the circles not just to track what you are doing, but also where you are when you're doing that. Like for example, at 9, you had to go with your husband to a neighbor's house because they're having late drinks. So that's not at home anymore. And let's say that you have assigned pink for time with husband. So time with husband and time with friends. So you can shade the pink in here. That's time with husband. But at the same time, you're also at a friend's house. So time with friends, let's say for example, is olive. Then that's when you can write details into the Hyperdex that will remind you how you spent your time, like cocktails at the Santoses. There. And because there's a pink there, it means that you were with your husband. This one is play with Maddie. Here is figure out outfit with Karen for Friday's dance. And then here you prepare dinner. And that's all inside your house. This one is not inside your house. It was at the Santoses, and you were with your husband, and the Santoses are your neighbor friends. There. That's just another way of using the Hyperdex. I used the Chronodex pretty much in this manner, but it was not set in stone. I mean, my color key was not even this specific. But my needs were changing, and my days are no longer 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Sometimes it lasts way longer than that. And I had to adjust my sleeping time to give way to study time for university, and also to the friends that I am trying to get back in the loop with. So that's in here. And I'm also taking medication. So if you are taking medication, you can also assign a color for that. And the thing about a 24-hour clock is that it really works well if you are taking medication, not just for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but if your doctor says you should take your medication, for example, every 8 hours, that's not just breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You have to divide 24 by 3, so that's every 8 hours. So how is that going to work? Let's say you have assigned green to medication. Let's say that you take the first dose at 6 a.m. meds, and then you count 8 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 meds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 meds, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 there. So if you're already asleep by 9, you have to wake up at 10 to take your meds. Or let's say, for example, let's go back to this one. Let's say, for example, that you took your first medication at 12 noon, so meds. Let's say that it has to be taken every 6 hours, so you count 6 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next dose would be at 6 p.m. and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then midnight, and then 6 p.m. You're gonna have to wake up at midnight to take your meds. And this is what the Hyperdex is good for. It's for people with sleep disorders, people who are taking medication for something, people who have to be all over the place. It gathers all information into just one core. So you have just one place to record everything and to keep track of things. You don't have to fill in the sections before things happen. You can shade everything in after the fact, which is what I do, especially when I'm keeping track of my sleeping time. I shade in the section after the fact. And because things in the office are so iffy because of December and things are just never really final, I shade things in after they happen. So like I did with the Chronodex, you can shade things in before or after, just to make sure that at the end of the day you have a pretty good idea of how you spent the day, what things you have accomplished, and where you are. So this is very good for people who are forgetful like me. So that's it about the Hyperdex. But of course you can tweak it, you can tweak how you use it. This is just how I use it. I'm just sharing this with you guys. But if you can think of some other way to use it, that's perfectly fine with me. Whatever works for you, I'm gonna be happy for you. So this is how I use my Hyperdex. And just to give you an idea of how it actually looks in my 2 pages per day, this is how it looks. There, that's how it looks. I have been sleeping well, no more medication. There. And I actually have a giveaway. For the first 3 people who comment on this video and who are already my subscribers, you get 30 pieces of the Hyperdex. That's good for about a month or more, because you can just use the Hyperdex on days that you want to use them for. You don't have to use it every day. And this one has no sticker backing on it because I'm not sure what you guys would prefer. Some of you may prefer the repositionable glue stick, some of you may prefer the double-sided tape, some of you may use other adhesives that I don't know. That's why I will be sending them to you as purely paper circles. And I cut these using this, so it's a perfect round circle with a Hyperdex that's exactly in the center. And the paper sheet is about 2 inches. It's 2 inches in diameter. The hole punch is 2 inches in diameter. So the Hyperdex is just a little bit smaller than that. That's the dimension that I set so that it won't be too large for you to post it or paste it on smaller areas of your planner. So for the first 3 people who are already subscribed to me and who will comment on this video, I will give 30 pieces of the Hyperdex. There, I've already prepared the envelopes. And for those who have already purchased on my Etsy store, you don't need to comment. Just send me a message that you want this. If you want it, I can send this to you. That's for people who have already purchased from me from my Etsy store. So that's it. So first, subscribe and then comment. The first 3 gets these 3. So that's it about the Hyperdex. I just wanted to share with you what I did, and I just wanted you to try it out for me. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time. Bye!